Hey guys, Mr. Jack000 here, back with Automation the car company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing right now is one of my latest builds called the Bus Company of England X-Deck. This is not your ordinary multi-decker bus. This is a 10-decker bus. It was originally a triple-decker bus built in 1954 in Sheffield, England. Recently, a racing company called 1440 Racing slapped a daunting V16, added more deck levels, and even formed their own touring subsidiary because of this. It has a lap time of 1 minute 38 seconds 61 milliseconds at the quote-unquote Top Gear test track, and 2 minutes 42 seconds 27 milliseconds at the automation track. It has a top speed of 157 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds flat. This vehicle uses my rendition of the most powerful V16 engine as of right now, that produces 4,730.1 horsepower and 3,723.5 foot-pounds of torque. It has a fuel efficiency rating of 0.7 miles per gallon and weighs 15,543 pounds or 7,050.2 kilograms. And for the market, it's a horrible competitor in the top 4 markets here, such as the GT and muscle premium, hypercar, and utility sports luxury car markets. In terms of how I made the X-Deck bus, the panel material will be made out of regular steel with a ladder chassis made out of galvanized steel, with a front longitudinal engine placement, and the front suspension is a solid axle leaf, and the rear suspension uses a solid axle coil. For the engine, it uses my rendition of the most powerful V16 in this game as of right now. Instead of going over the specs again, I'll put the video of how I made this powerful in the card system on the top right of your screen if you want to learn more about this engine. So now, let's head on over to the drivetrain. For the drive type, we're going to be using an all-wheel drive configuration with a dual clutch 7-speed with the top speed set at 161.6 miles per hour, even though the top speed can go up to 156.5 miles per hour, or if you round it up, that'll be 157. With an electric LSD, and the power distribution is set at 46 in the front and 54 in the rear. For the tires, they're using radial semi-slicks, the front and rear tire width set at 395 millimeters, which that's maxed out in the game, with maxed out tire diameter, which I think this is 1,000 millimeters, and it's running on 26-inch steel rims. We balling out on this thing, man. For the brakes, we're using symmetrical carbon ceramic 6-piston brakes front and back with the size set to 420 millimeters. Please smoke that, son. With a 100 pad type, which is a full race setting with a slightly adjusted brake bias and untuned quality sliders. For the undertray, we're using a fully clad undertray. Even though downforce, it'll add some weight, which is probably more realistic for this thing right here. If I can zoom this back. Which this was a pain to make. Like, if this would have had its real weight with all these decks on top like this, this would probably be like 30,000, 40,000 pounds easily, and will never cross a freaking bridge, underpass in its life. Most definitely an underpass. And the cooling airflow is maxed out because we got a stupidly powerful engine, and this thing really likes to overheat in BeamNG. Same thing with the brakes, put it up to an 80 because you slam on the brakes these things, it ain't gonna stop and it is gonna fade, so we gotta cool it somehow. It's got no convertible whatsoever, and it's a 7-seater, what's to say it's a, whatever, 60, 70-seater with a premium interior and premium infotainment, because they want to be comfortable in this thing, even though this thing really loves to tip over with a stupidly high center of gravity. It's got an electrical variable power steering with electronic stability control and launch control, and 2010's advanced safety standards. For the suspension, it's the first on here. We're using active comfort springs with gas monotube dampers. An early option are passive sway bars running on a modified normal preset. Just max out the springs, dampers, and sway bars, and drop the ride height. Despite a buttload of problems on here, such as the brake force being too low, quality sliders, dampers, wheel spin, crank, conrods, rods, all that stuff, we're going to export this to BeamNG.drive and test this out. So here we are at the modded map of the American Road, a huge map if you want to download this, and taking a look at this bus. Let's zoom out, and there you are, trees in the way, and here we go, there's a better view. Let's use the free cam and take a look at this thing, and this thing, it's just so ridiculous. Like, how could you get through an underpass with this thing? Like, a triple decker, it won't really work in America unless you're taking this to downtown, and that's pretty much it. Like, if you're trying to go cross country this thing, forget about it. Even though this was a pain to work with, kind of a pain to work with in automation, like as you see here with the placements of each deck level, you got the windows covered up, like especially here. You kind of see it here, even the upper deck levels, they go higher. This is covered up too. I try to make it like consistent as possibly can, but building this kind of like, you got this gap here, and I want to continue this like size of a gap as I go up, which kind of looks baddish, but it's good enough as of right now. And it pretty much outperforms every 5-decker video on YouTube as of right now. So I aligned myself better on this road right here, and we're going to be doing some basic performance tests with this vehicle. Hopefully it is capable. The first one we're going to be doing is a 0 to 62 acceleration test, second a 62 to 0 brake test, and lastly a top speed run, which I think it'll work on here, even though it's got a 4,700 horsepower engine, but when I tested this at BeamNG, the turbocharger and the engine just basically explodes once you hit the gas pedal, this thing. So right now, let's start off with our first test to 0 to 62 right now. And turbocharger overheating, pistons ring damaged, 1 to 63 good enough in 3.12 seconds of 151.3 feet. And wow, this thing is swaying. I got the roll angle app on the bottom left of the screen, and we do it to Midnight Club. And we fell at an 88-degree angle. So if we were to do a top speed run, I have to like be very careful on the throttle just to get the top speed going, because the engine is like so fragile of how powerful this is. So brake test, gas oil. That may have been a 63, but whatever. Let's see. 63 to 0, good enough in 3.96 seconds of 168.3 feet. Just 17 feet more compared to speed test and brake test. That's very weird. And to prove you that physics don't exist with this vehicle, especially 3D assets, you could chop the whole road apart. Chop the whole bus through the road. And there you go. So for a top speed run, can we get a better camera angle going? Probably the driver view, but it's pretty loud up in here. So for the top speed run, let's slowly accelerate. Turbocharger overheating. Be very careful with the throttle, but don't go too far. Let's probably aim around 6 PSI of our acceleration. Around 7, probably be good enough, or let's just gun it. Pistons rings down, let's go all the way. Engine torque reduced. This thing's gonna blow up real soon. Hopefully this turn ain't that bad. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Let's just not steer and get a camera going for this tree crash up ahead. I'll say try to be very careful as possible, but it ain't gonna work out. So I think a top speed run may be a fail unless I find a straightaway. And 100 times slow-mo right now, and it's gonna be an overlapping crash. So right here, way over here. Okay, everything is bending right now. The front of the vehicle is caving in. This is caving out. Oh no, back this up way more. Oh my god. Is this turning into the DePaul flag or something? Go to 8 times. And we wrapped ourselves around, so full time. And there we go. So we turn the bus into a Nepal flag for a half second. Can I get this free or no? So the engine still runs. The drive shaft, everything is still attached somehow. What if we hit the gas? Really? This is the drive shaft right here. How is this even possible? So the front of the vehicle, everything has been shifted at like a 60-70 degree angle here. And here's our knockoff Nepal flag, but it's facing downward. Like if you go through the terrain, everything, that is your Nepal flag right here. And everything about the bus is just severely mangled up. And we kind of screwed up our sponsors at the back here. We got, oh yeah, oh, Torlines Inc. at the back. But this side is mostly retained here. We still got the 1440 Racing and the rest of the company little name right here. So yeah, that's that for this vehicle. So right now, let's stay in this map here. We're doing a time trial on the AR racetrack, which appears to be a mixed circuit here. And it's kind of interesting. It's like a full like racetrack style oval right here. And in the middle is just this right here. It says the circuit at AR racetrack. Track is very flat and it's perfect for fast cars like this guy, even though it's a bus, but good enough. And we're going to be doing 2 laps in the evening with this thing, so we're going to be definitely using our headlights and taillights and everything with this vehicle. So let's take you to the starting line of this racetrack right now. So here we are. Looks like we're a tad over the line here, and I'm very, very concerned here with this bridge here. Are we going to go through this or no? Let's find out here in 3, 2, 1... start. No, we're not. I have to switch tracks. Yeah, definitely switch tracks soon. Engine is off. We just killed the engine just like that. Alright, quick change of plan. Let's do the Top Gear track. Let's do 4 laps. So here we are at the Top Gear test track, which I think is the Dunsfold Airport, Dunsford, whatever it is in real life. And they also changed the time to late afternoon rather than in the evening or sunset, whatever it was, because it was like pitch dark on this racetrack. So it'll be better off to just race out in the sunlight and hopefully beat our time, which I think it's 1 minute 38 seconds 61 milliseconds at the Top Gear test track. So let's try to prove that here in 3, 2, 1. Slowly hit the gas, go. Let's not go ham with the throttle, because turbocharger would blow up. How about this turn? 50? Oh no, we gotta go like semi-truck slow up in here. How about this turn? 30-something miles an hour. Oh no. Oh no. It's so bad at center of gravity that it does that. Can I go to another camp? Whoops. Get me the hell out of here, man. I'm falling over. Timber. I try to get out of there until you hit the tilde key. This is looking pretty bad right now. Going to the hammerhead section. I think that's what it is in real life. I kind of know some of the turns and stuff like that, what they name it in Top Gear, but all I do know is like a few. We're smoking already. I don't think it will do that. And the turbocharger is overheating at the hammerhead section. Let's not tip over. Go to second gear and slowly make this right. I almost hit it too fast to the point where I'm gonna be two-wheeling. What's the top speed I made on this in this track right here? Let's see. Going 101. I think 101 may be the top speed I'll ever achieve with this vehicle on this track here, and that was a close one. Let's get our first lap going, which will be in the 2:15s if I can get this slowly as I possibly can and carefully. So first lap time will be a 2 minutes, 15 seconds, 956 milliseconds. Wow, how about the other laps? Which pretty much finishes off till the engine blows or something stupid, because I have like many doubts that this vehicle would survive how fragile the engine is, including the turbocharger, and how much this vehicle flips over on its side, like, kind of like that. See, the key to not flipping over is to go pretty much slow as possible, but be very careful on your steering inputs. Don't be snappy on it, because that's where you'll flip it over if you be snappy on your steering inputs. Pistons, rings, damage, engine torque reduced. This ain't got much left in the tank. Let's... Damn, I gotta like stop up in here. Imagine the people taking the tours with this bus. They'll be like freaking nauseous and like be road sick up in here. So kids, don't book a tour with these people. What's the second lap time? 2 minutes, 16 seconds, 740. Worse than the first lap. They were probably like the second or third worst vehicle to perform at the automation or quote-unquote automation test track, which is the Top Gear test track. Right, the last lap, I'm going to be gunning it at this straightaway here and see... Jesus Christ, it is the same thing again. You see if the vehicle would survive on a straightaway like this, gunning it without busting the engine apart. And because of that, we're going to be doing worse than the second and first lap. So the lap time we're about to get is a 2 minutes, 17 seconds, 970 milliseconds. God damn. Let's try to push it in this lap. It's our final lap. And then after that, we'll throw it off a cliff somewheres. Oh my god, oh my god. This vehicle just got real unstable at that corner, really unstable, to the point where I about tipped over in this thing. Alright, try to push it right around here. I push it, gun it. Gun it. And brake. 106 right there. That's a personal best on this track with this vehicle. So way down first gear, force it to slow down, do some engine braking. And we get a lap time of 2 minutes, 13 seconds, 351 milliseconds. Let's just gun it all the way. With a total time of 9 minutes, 4 seconds, 16 milliseconds. Jesus Christ. I think doing that, we probably did the worst, the worst out of all the Top Gear vehicles tested on this track. Alright, let's just keep on going to either blow the engine or crash into something, like, straight ahead into these trees up in here. Or do this. Nice. Turbocharger overheating again? Anything else? These trees. It's like, this vehicle is, like, sexually attracted to trees here. And we only screw up the middle portion and the bus portion of the vehicle. And not everything else with the decks of the bus. And like that, the engine is still running. And this is the result of damage. Got the engine smoking, could barely see the indicators going off because impact detected stopping car, and it turned off for some odd reason. So last part of the video, let's hope these tourists will pay something extra by going to leap of death and ending their lives physically and financially. Wait, am I invulnerable right here? Hold on. Reverse a little. That may have just been me. Look, you got the rocks, and the back of the vehicle just appears out of thin air. So let's just get on going and drive this off. End this bus's misery because this is not supposed to be a 10-decker bus. It was supposed to be a 3-decker bus. Around 52-ish or 53 upon exit. And hopefully these tourists, non-existent tourists, this looks ridiculous, gets a front row view. It's going to get bad. Front row view of this here crash. So, hide the UI. And am I going to make it through this gap here? Hold on. Are you kidding me? I'll barely make it through the gap, but just squeeze right here. I think I'm going to do that. Change cameras. Let's just follow the back end. Starting to squish up a little. Do 16. Squish you up in the back. I'm doing a free cam in case the regular vehicle cam glitches out for some odd reason. And am I going to ride the cliff face? Hold on. Hit the gas. 150, 160, so we definitely reach top speed right then and there. Alright, 4 times. Ride down here. There goes the tire. Impact detected, stopping car, and we're in flight. There's a tire. Hold on. I just used physics to stop the tire. Broke the laws of physics, well, that way. And there goes that tire. And we're still flipping along awkwardly. And putting the top layers of the decks into the freaking crust of the earth here. And we just did that. Brake test 370 miles an hour, 340 miles an hour in 9.65 seconds. And that happened. Let's respawn. Jesus Christ, infinity. What if I go? Help. I think I'm never going to hit the gas pedal. I can reverse, but... Hold up. I just broke the vehicle so hard, it does that. There goes a piece of the license plate. So let's just pretend that never even happened in the first place. So let's just drop this in the water because it was odd course of going into this pond here. So let's pretend that glitch never happened and get ready to splash down here right now. Splash. Wow, the bottom end just caved in pretty good. And take this up to flat land and see what the aftermath of destruction looks like. So here is the aftermath of the destruction. Hazards going off because impact detected stopping car. 112 to 0 in 18.76 seconds of 1,160.87 feet. That's pretty bad for a vehicle like this. And like that, it somehow crinkled the bus's decks like forward and outward and upward and more outward. And this right here crinkled this upward. Wow. I mean, oh wow, look at the interior. These two seats have been thrown upwards symmetrically. Even these two here, hold on, I'm trying to get a better view. Like these two are like crushed outwards symmetrically. How about the upper decks? Not bad in the second deck. Third deck, I get to the front, it looks pretty bad. So I don't know why I can't drive forwards, but I can drive backwards. Look, drive backwards, but not forwards. And before we go, since I'm right here, instead of doing it at the crater portion of the map here, I'm going to be driving in reverse because that's the only way I can get this thing moving is drive this in reverse. And then once I get to its top speed, just freeze the physics, me being in free cam, and go to like somewhere, let's say, probably straight ahead, like right here, and see if it can land back at the crater right here. So, vehicle cam, unfreeze physics, and just gun it in reverse. See how fast we can go. 28, so that's pretty abysmal. And right now, find, let's say, this peak right here, this part of the mountain right here, and spawn it at the top of here, and see what's it like getting a crash test rolling downward into this crater right here. So here's the vehicle in mid-flight, unfreeze the physics, keep gunning it in reverse, and 28 miles an hour upon exit, and here we go. Smash. That was kind of brutal. Let's be very careful and take a good peek of how it looks like once... That's just ridiculous. What's it like once it glitches out for some odd reason? It'll like shear... Oh my god. I think shearing off the side of the cliff does that. Let me do that in slow motion. Get you to the point where it happens. So, oh god. First impact does that. I don't think I no longer trust this. This is pretty impossible how this glitches out every time you hit the side of the cliff. So how about right here? Slow it way down. Let's do it right here. Sheesh, that looks so ridiculous with the top decks just collapsing into the crust of the earth. Speed this up. Like, how does it glitch out? Does like the top decks screw up something, or the actual vehicle decks like here, or right here? Keep our eyes out and be very cautious of how this thing splits apart. Even though I'm not the mod author of this vehicle, I just made this more ridiculous than it was supposed to be. So I've been falling down for quite some time. I think shearing at the side of the cliff face, I think that's where it goes haywire. Let's see. How about right here? Will that do something or no? If not, then we'll just end the video off right then and there if I can't find anything. Yeah, it hasn't been doing much. Just yeet this at the side of the cliff face in the crater. It pretty much did nothing, so I think that glitch is probably a hit and miss. Mostly a hit, but sometimes a miss, so that's pretty much it. So that was pretty disappointing at that segment. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the freaking X-Deck 10-decker bus. I can't even start how stupid this vehicle is. It's one, very impractical of how this thing likes to tip over because of high center of gravity, and two, of how unreliable it is. Once you slam on the gas pedal, the engine just imploding itself, including the turbocharger, how easily that thing overheats. If you were to drive this type of bus or get onto a tour line, stay far, far away with this bus here. It's just not the best vehicle for you, either to do some sightseeing tours, do some drag racing, regular racing, whatever. It's not the right vehicle for you, or for long trips or anything. That's the bottom line of this vehicle. So this has been Mr. Jacket 000. I'll see you in the next video.